From tribune.com.pk, I have no idea what this is. What is this? The Express Tribune. They say, Asmongold blames Hassan Abi for Twitch's adpocalypse affecting streamers' ad revenue.
It's actually Destiny's...
Destiny is?
Well, it's not Destiny himself. It's Destiny's followers because they're going after us.
Well, let's get the story first.
Yes.
All right. So they say, Asmongold explained his position during his broadcast, saying Hassan clearly is one of the biggest proponents of this. I would say he is the main reason. He added that a majority of the examples used in discussions about demonetization on Twitch pertain to Hassan Abi. That's Hassan Piker. Maybe not 90, maybe 80, 70, but it is the majority of all examples on the entire platform. The adpocalypse refers to a reduction in ad revenue across Twitch, reportedly affecting some creators by as much as 90%.
Yeah.
Industry experts, including Devin Nash, have previously linked the issue to polarizing political content on the platform. Hassan Abi has faced criticism for his coverage of Middle Eastern conflicts with allegations of promoting anti-Semitic rhetoric. Yep. U.S. Congressman Richie Torres even cited Hassan Piker in a congressional letter accusing Twitch of amplifying extremist voices. Asmongold defended his stance, stating, "You can say it's unfair, that's fine, but you can't say that it's not happening or that it's not the reason." He also criticized Twitch for its inconsistent moderation policies.
Yeah.
They go on to mention that Twitch has not officially commented on the controversy, but recently updated its hateful conduct policy regarding the term Zionist.
Because the ADL told him to.
Is that, well, look, hey, man.
Yeah, not kidding. The ADL and put in a policy. They said, nope, you got to do this. They capitulated to the ADL immediately.
This is liberals and leftists' welcomes to leopard ate my face.
Yeah.
Leopards ate my face. This is, they advocated and begged, and to this day, they still beg for it. And I am happy to watch them crumble and wither into a dried husk of their former selves.
Well, the gamers all over Twitch are like, no, they want all political content off of Twitch. Gamers are begging Twitch, get rid of political content. We don't want it. We want ad-friendly content. That's us gaming, right? That's ad-friendly content. We don't want this. But for Twitch, these guys are cash cows, right? Hassan, they're cash cows.
Destiny has a viral video right now where he says that all of the people on the right should be banned.
Including you.
Including me.
Yeah.
He says people like,
by name?
By name.
Yeah, by name.
I don't know who else he mentions. I don't remember, but he says Tim Pool. These people, they're only awful and their platform should be totally banned. And I'm like,
he said Tucker Carlson.
Right. Yep.
He said Tim Pool. He said there was multiple personalities.
I'm in complete agreement right now with him, and I'm glad he brought it up because we hold the power of the institutions. We won the popular vote. The advertisers are siding with X, and he's going to get himself banned for screaming this. And bye-bye, Destiny.
Yo, Disney came back to X too, even.
That's what I'm talking about. All the major corporations are coming back to X because Destiny and his ilk are on the wrong side of history.
Yeah.
Destiny wanted to make the argument about democracy and all that. Well, he's anti-democracy. The more he complains, he is opposed to the will of the people. So if he wants to advocate for bannings, I say, well, don't look at me. But my stance on this has changed.
And he's by the way, this guy's always been a deplatformer. I mean, going way back, he's always been the advocate for deplatforming, unless it's him. It's
10 years ago, I was in we shouldn't ban people, we protect free speech, even for those who disagree with camp. Now I'm in I do not defend my enemies.
Yes.
Destiny wants to burn down free speech. I say, hey, man, you're on your own. So when they start ripping their revenue away and banning them out, and Hassan as well, I just say, sucks for you guys, I guess. I ain't going to speak up for you.
No.
Yeah, I'm not.
Suffer.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit there. I would never go and go out of my way to try and get someone banned, but I'm not going to do one. I'm not going to lift one finger. Right. I'm not going to waste one bit of breath trying to defend him. Or anyone that says, these people should be banned. If you're advocating for banning people, beat it. I'm not going to defend you.
What these people are saying is even so much worse than that. It's not even just the idea of democracy. What Destiny was saying in that video clip, and I've heard this echoed from guys like Pacman and many others, is that all of humanity is benefited by you being gone. You even having a place to say anything is an existential threat to humankind itself.
That's what he was saying. Right?
And all that happens is that the world's going to improve by getting rid of you. That's a call to action.
Yeah.
That's an actual call to action. We must do this. We need to get rid of these people. How is it not if you say these people are an existential threat to everybody, right?
Well,
How's that not really a call to action? Because that's what it sounds like to me.
There's a reason why. And this is actually a fascinating metric I'd love to study. Maybe we could hire maybe People's Pundit. Rich Bears could help us out with this. After the election, that was a major inflection point. CNN and MSNBC's ratings collapsed.
Yep.
David Pacman, Brian Tyler Cohen, they started bleeding subscribers.
Yeah.
And he made a big deal out of it.
Yeah, he did.
And then when we responded, he made another big deal out of it. If you look at their accounts on X, AOC lost like 150K this month, more now. They're fleeing to Blue Sky or other apps. And so we saw in the inverse, Fox News' ratings go up. Our viewership skyrocketed. We jumped a substantial amount. We are still seeing increased ratings. Right now, we're at 60,625 concurrent views, where we were averaging before like 45K. So we've seen a boost. I'm wondering if this is regular people were watching these leftists, these liberals, believed them, saw that the majority of the country did not agree. Some of them either asked themselves, am I wrong? Some of them said, oh, crap, I'm on the wrong side of history. But I'm wondering if we can actually track that sentiment among people who ditched the liberal shows and are rushing over here. And I think then the reason why people like Destiny are saying we'd be better off without them is because then the viewers would have nowhere else to go and they'd be trapped in his sycophantic lie machine.
Well, it's always been the case that the leftists on Twitch and on YouTube have always pulled their resources, especially on Twitch, to remove any right-wing personality who existed there. For a good example of this, Fuentes was on Twitch. He was vastly popular. I think, to my understanding, he did follow the terms of service that they had set down at the time. They got rid of him because leftists collectively demanded that they get rid of him. That was it. And it's because, why? Well, he siphoned a ton of viewers. And because of that, he siphons their money. And that's what it comes down to, right? You're exactly right. They want to have the pool of viewership and the pool of cash. So, yeah, they do collectively demand often that right-wingers be removed from these platforms, whether they're breaking the TOS or not. They don't care. Yep. And they'll make shit up. I've seen them make up various things. I've seen them say, this guy's advocating for transgender genocide and all sorts of crazy things that nobody ever said anything about in order to push reports to various platforms to get you deplatformed.
The craziest thing I've been talking about for the past month, I went onto the front page of YouTube. I normally don't look. I don't go onto YouTube and look at default not signed in account like a fresh browser login. And I started to because we saw our viewership spike randomly. And I was like, okay, we got to be featured. Like, they put you on the front page, your viewership's going to jump. So I go to the front page, and sure enough, I see Timcast IRL. And I was like, wow, something changed in the algorithm. I don't know if it's after the CEO passed on, rest in peace, no disrespect. The new CEO had a change of heart and said, if the show's good, it's good, put it on the front page. What I noticed, though, when I started looking, there are channels that will take a clip of me from this show talking about, I don't know, roosters, and then put that in a screen with Cenk Uygur, who is talking about tax rates from 5 years ago, and make it seem like we're debating. And they'll get 30,000 views on it and make money. That's insane and freaky stuff. So you'll get a video where, I can't remember, one of them I saw made the claim that me and Cenk Uygur were fighting with each other, and we were enemies, and I was like, that's really weird. Like, he was actually, we were talking to him about coming on the show and everything was cordial. We disagreed, but he's been cordial. So I clicked the video and it was a total fabrication and it had like 38,000 views or something. And I was like, holy crap. I went back and I saw a bunch of these, Ben Shapiro debating a guy and different channels doing it. They realized that this space and these debates get traffic and people want to see it. They realize that big names attract the viewers. And so they can make a fake video. They don't call it parody or anything like that. They just say, wow, look at this. Whoa. And then they play it. It's
that's been going on for years. People tapping into the large content creators have conflict.
But making these fake videos I've never seen before. They do
it all. Yeah, they've been doing it for a while.
Making videos from two different channels totally unrelated to each other and combining them to make a fake debate.
Well, maybe not specifically that. Was it an actual fake debate that they hosted? Oh, really?
Yeah. It was like a short video with a couple clips. One of them was me. And I can't remember exactly what it was, but let's say I'm talking about, Joe Biden comes out and says Trinidad Shabbat pressure.
Yeah.
And then I go, what was that? That was gibberish nonsense. The man's not even speaking English now. How could you sit there and tell me this guy is giving me an honest argument? And then it would be a clip of Cenk Uygur going, don't say that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I mean, that's an old way to do satire too.
Yeah, right? But this was not satire. It was a guy hosting it going, hey guys, so I was watching the debate with Tim and Cenk, and it was really crazy because Tim was saying these, and I was like, what?
Just totally fabricated?
Yes, 100%. And there were a bunch of them from different people.
Wow.
And I was like, yo, what is this? That's freaky.
So they just look at what's trending in the algo, maybe, and then try to push that content out.
Certain names get clicks.
Yeah, of course.
It's like when people make the clips from this show where they edit it in funny ways, where it's like me and Ian staring into each other's eyes, and then the next clip is like we're not there anymore, and then those are funny. But these videos are weird. Anyway, to your point, the reason I bring it up, it is like Sam Cedar is the king of this. He just makes things up every day. It's like his whole show is just fabricated. The dude literally came on the Culture War podcast.
I know, I watched it.
Did you see when he said, that's the clip I was trying to get?
Yep.
He admitted to doing it. So this guy, Sam Cedar, comes on.
He was very, so I was expecting when he came on that this was going to be a really kind of a good exchange because Cedar is known as being a fairly decent debater inside of these spheres. I never thought so, but he's known for being one. And he was just kind of doddering. Yeah. He was like, I want to make an allegation, but I can't make an allegation, but I want to make an allegation.
The best example is I outright said I'm pro-choice. I think it due to the impossibility of regulating certain issues pertaining to health. And so I said the Supreme. So I don't want to relitigate the whole argument. The point was Supreme Court has to give us an answer on personhood as to whether the 14th Amendment applies to the unborn as persons, not citizens. Mm-hmm. We don't have that. I believe a conservative court will, and that will ban abortion overnight. It would require adjudication for it. Personally, I said, as of right now, I'm more pro-choice. I think abortion is wrong, but I see an impossibility in properly regulating it right now because of various issues.
Cringed him.
Sure,
Cringed
that's fine.
him.
And that's fine. And I said, so I think, I don't know if it's 15, 18, 22 weeks, whatever that number is, we'll find where a woman can just go in. And I said, there are questions of consent. He then asks me a hypothetical. How would you deal with consent? I'm like, should we get a rape kit, I guess? And he was like, so a woman would have to get a rape kit to prove that she didn't consent. And I was like, yes. My argument was never that I thought women should be forced to do these things. Mine was, I'm pro-choice up to a certain amount, pre-viability. A woman doesn't need a reason at all. I think it's wrong. And we want to go the Ron Paul route. It should be unthinkable, not illegal. In the event of consent, he asks me, he then goes off and starts saying things like, you're disgusting, you son of a, you're so gross. And I'm sitting here being like, oh, here he goes. You're trying to get a clip. After he was finished with his overly emotional rant, he just calms down and goes, that was the clip I was trying to get. Outright admitting on the show, he just wanted to cause a scene. It's remarkable. This is what the left does, and this is why they lose. If I said something to you like, if you were a leftist, Andrew, if you were like a hardcore leftist, what do you think tax-wise, what tax rate would you advocate for?
90% of
you
the
insane.
Exactly.
You really? And then
you're disgusting.
And then what we do is we clip the part where I say, what tax rate would you advocate for? You say 90%.
Yeah.
And I claim, and that's what he does. And it's fake. His whole show is fake. And this is what they do. And so the reason why they don't like the competition is because they want to be able to lie, manipulate the algorithm, make money. They are what they project onto others. They say everyone else is grifting. And it's one big scam. But you know what? Greg Gutfeld, I gotta give him credit for it every time I say this because it was masterfully said. The left, their whole worldview is downstream from hoaxes. Everything they talk about is derivative of a hoax. But once you see through one of them, there's no going back.
Yeah.
My response to that is that explains SNL, for instance. The jokes on SNL that don't make sense, where they have RFK Jr. out and come out and be like, got to get rid of all the vaccines. And I was like, well, what's the joke? I mean, RFK Jr. is not anti-vax. Oh, it's because in their hoax world, they think he hates vaccines. And then you actually listen to the guy like any sane person, and he's like, I think vaccines should undergo rigorous testing like every other medication, and I recommend them. And you're like, oh, so it's like a moderate position. It's totally normal.
Yeah, well, in satire, if it doesn't point at the truth, isn't funny. That's the point, right? And so when people say Saturday Night Live, for instance, isn't funny, because you're not pointing at the truth. And if you're not pointing at the truth, you can't have any humor. Otherwise, what are we even talking about, right?
So anyway, I digress. I'm done ranting about those people. But so what? Twitch revenue is just flat. The stock guys says his ad revenue is down 95%.
Yeah, well, I mean,
YouTube ad revenue is way up.
Twitch had a great opportunity with their platform before they sold out. They had some great shows on there with some great talent. and they literally buckled under to Hassan Piker. I mean, basically, whatever Hassan wants on that platform, Hassan gets, and that's that. So if you're a popular right-wing entertainer or commentator, you go on there and you make fun of the golden boy, you're gone. I mean, that's it. So Twitch has always been unfriendly to the right. Everybody knows it.
Yeah. Yep.
But now it's so beyond obvious, and that's why the gamers there like, look,
isn't Twitch Amazon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Bezos must have had a conversation with somebody. You know, he comes out and says, Washington Post, we're not going to endorse. He's like, oh, we have to be impartial. I think when the left started saying that they were going to pass these taxes on unrealized gains, and he actually got us to defend Jeff Bezos, or I should say that the left got us to defend Jeff Bezos. I'm like, Bezos doesn't make $1 billion a year. His salary, I think, is $1 million plus it's $80,000 plus bonus. So he makes a couple $1 million per year. He takes out loans against his stock. He cannot sell the stock because of contractual obligations with the structure of the company.
Yeah, but he takes out the loan so he doesn't have to pay taxes on the money.
Well, he can't take out the money. So this is the issue. He owns Amazon. They have, when he wants to sell stock, the stock has to reach a threshold before he can liquidate it.
Yeah.
So if we were to tax him on unrealized gains, he'd be like, I don't have any of that money.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, sell your stock. I'm not legally allowed to sell the stock. If the government then intervened in the Amazon contract to force him to sell the stock, it would gut the value of Amazon.
Isn't the idea here, though, that you set the company up so that it operates that way so you can take out loans? You're taking out loans against what your potential net worth is, because on a loan, when you're paying the loan back, you don't have to pay any taxes on that. You
don't have to set up the company that way to do that. So if you are the owner of a company and you have liquid stock and you unrealize $1 million in gains, you have unrealized gains of $1 million, you could liquidate the stock or you can get a loan against it.
Yeah, that's true.
Bezos' structure, for whatever reason, by all means accuse him of that structure or otherwise, he can't just sell. But there is no unrealized gains tax, so there's no reason to do that. The structure, I think, has to do with the investors who came in, and if he were to sell too much stock at once, it would tank the value of the company. If they pass unrealized taxes like Kamala wanted to do, he's screwed.
Yeah.
They just he loses the company.
Yep.
So he must have been like, turn it around. Twitch, Washington Post, everything, we're pro-Trump now. Or at the very least, neutral. And that's, but to be honest, the advertisers leaving Twitch likely has more to do with the Zionism stuff. Hassan Piker's had some real messed up stuff.
It's part of it. But I mean, it's been happening for a while. The decline of Twitch has been going on for a while, especially with Twitch politics. Twitch politics used to be a pretty brutal place that was kind of fun to go to. Had a lot of good political commentators there. That's all done. That it just doesn't even exist there anymore. Now all that exists is a couple of these big personalities, and if they want you off, you're off. The gamers absolutely hate all the political, any political talk whatsoever, because it's supposed to be a gaming platform, right? So, it doesn't make any sense. Their moderation policy makes no sense, and people just stop watching it. They just don't want to support it.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.